Welcome back to Satisfactory. I have some bad news. Me and Ed spent 3.5 hours recording yesterday, and it's all gone. Thankfully, the only thing we did yesterday was built this train track. This track goes all the way from here to the oil refinery base thing, you know, where we built all the power. We also spent 2.5 hours-ish trying to fix a power issue that we never resolved. So in this episode, I know the fix, and I haven't told Ed yet. I'm going to wait until we get over there. But first, Ed, yes. I think we need to do a base tour.
Yeah?
Okay, so I feel like I'm interrupting these videos at least one every 2 videos, and I'm sorry about that. But I must tell you, 1, we didn't fix the power issue in this video because it was longer than we thought. 2, we call our particular parts of the base certain names in this video, which aren't necessarily true, because we've named them since more permanent names. But the name will pop up on screen if it's different to what we're saying. So just watch the video. So let's pretend I'm a new person. I've never watched this dumb series before, or I've come to help out. Oh, I'm sorry. I've come to help out, and I just want to know what's what, please.
So,
talk me through the flaws as well, I guess. But
this is called a video game.
Yeah. No, we can skip that bit. We know that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know where to start.
All right, fuck it. All right. So this is our main base. This is where everything comes in. This is where everything's made at the moment. Obviously, it's not going to be like this forever, but this is it. 2023. This is our base. Outside, we have various miners. I think it is just miners outside, actually, isn't it? Miners and smelters outside. Everything else is within the base. Just on the thing, this is our smelting building, I guess, out the front here. You agree, Ed?
Hello. Yes.
This whole building is dedicated to smelting, and up here we have our, what are these things called? Foundries, which make steel and go to our steel floor. We'll get to that later because we're not ready to go to the steel floor. But yeah, so just so you know, everything happens in terms of raw materials. Everything happens outside of the factory, and then it goes in, not raw, unless we're talking about rock or quartz. So anything that needs to go through a smelter or a foundry will happen outside of the building. Agreed?
Oh, we have got some smelters inside.
Where?
Here.
Okay, well, we'll get to those, I guess. This is the ground floor. I'm on the ground floor, Ed, where we're producing base components, so real basic stuff like plates. I think we are even doing... No, we're not, yeah. So just plates, copper cable, wires... the other coiled up wire thingy, real basic stuff, screws and rods. And as you can see, this is a low priority floor. Eventually, this though will be constantly. The idea that I have is for this floor to be constantly producing base products that we ship out to other parts of the world. So say if we had a base here, we have a base over here, we have a base over here. Each of those bases will all have a maximum amount of what are they called, rods and screws and that sort of stuff, and then there'll just be a train that comes and picks them up and drops them off all the way and stuff like that. And then we just always have to we have them available at those bases all the time, and we don't have to keep coming back here every time. We have main bases around.
Oh, is that what you mean by doing that? Okay.
And then it allows us to explore the world without having to always come back here, but we have certain main hubs around the world.
That's
where we just have all of this stuff available. And obviously, we can produce it there and stuff as well, because if there's iron, we're not going to get the iron, ship it all the way back here. But we're basically just going to have a train with a full trailer of screws driving around all the time that just dropping screws off where we use the screws. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. I get what you mean. When you said that, I was thinking as in we were going to... So instead of making these products at separate places... we would train them there, but that makes so much more sense, what you just said.
Yeah. So that's why this floor is every floor is incomplete, but this one's staying. This is here to stay forever, but it's just work in progress, as is everything. And then I'm just going to
just stuff that we use to build.
Yeah, it's just stuff that we used to build. I mean, it's our most visited floor, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then up to the first floor, which is slightly more advanced stuff, to be honest. Like, we are making plates up here. We're making reinforced iron plates. We're making, what are these? The QB modular frame thingies as well. What's made in here? Motors are made here as well. Like, so this is just like the second level. It's advanced stuff, but still like mainly iron, basically. Originally, I think it was just going to be just for iron this floor, wasn't it? Anything iron that is the second, like, slightly more advanced was going to be on this floor. But then we decided that we would maybe expand it and have, like, we put quartz on here just because we didn't know what to do with quartz, for example. And quartz we are absolutely not using. One day we will, I'm sure. So that's just sitting here, absolutely stacked up in these. I think
when we start getting fancy, because you use it for windows and stuff, don't you? So we start getting fancy with our builds. Then that's what we use it.
So that's the first floor. Again, very easy. And then we have a second floor, and that's it for now for the factory. But the second floor is steel. Anything steel is happening on this floor. This is like the steel floor, basically. We've got the pipes. We've got the whatever these are called, beams, and then they get made into the encased beams, which also require what are these called as well, concrete and stuff like that. So but ultimately, because it's an encased beam, it is a steel product. I see more of a steel product than the
end result is
it's super steel. And then what's this one as well? This is just making motors. Are they a product of steel? Didn't realize that. Oh yes, because they take pipes, and again they take copper, but copper's not really a main. Copper's such like a side product that it belongs on the steel floor basically.
Much is it? At least not yet. For whatever we're using it for, it's not got a lot of roles.
That's right. And at the moment, like, steel doesn't have much of the big like to be honest, it's not much. We use steel a lot, but it doesn't have much range. Like, for what it actually makes, it just makes pipes and beams.
We use it for a lot of building stuff. We use a lot of this stuff for like the more advanced builds. So like all the train stuff is all is pretty much steel.
It's important to have a ton of steel stuff.
Oh, mate,
so
when you turn,
maybe in the future we would have like a steel floor and then a steel advanced floor, just like we have with iron. But like for now, this works and it's quite big. So I'm like I don't want our factory to be bigger, wider than this. I don't care how high it goes, but I'm absolutely adamant that it's going to stay this square here, which it might not. But so that's it for the main factory. But obviously around here we've got dotted locations. So again, we have where all the main like foundries and smelters are over there. Ed says we've got some smelters somewhere else, so maybe we should even move them or whatever.
Yeah, in this floor here we've got some smelters, but I think we just did that because room.
Yeah, and then we have some more smelters, so like over here as well, which is just like, again, just a little center that we just propped up and was like, cool, free iron, that's sick. And then one of my favorite bits of our base is Ed's addition that he built pretty much mostly in secret, and we dubbed it Hilltop because it's just like, it's right there. It's been there the whole time, and we've only just really started using it. I mean, right now it's an absolute like crazy thing, but for a while it was just because there was some extra iron back here, and it was just these smelters over here, and they came back. But now it's like a whole thing. Obviously we did a full episode on this as well. Building this was probably actually one of my favorite things I've recorded in Satisfactory, because like this was the real numbers. This is where we really got mathematical, like honest. I mean, it's all 1 + 2. It's not like, oh yes, divided by n equals 4. But like, it was still super cool. Like honestly, this is again, and then obviously with our power issues around here as well, because this just absolutely loved power. So yeah, and this ultimately, this only job is to create advanced steel. What are they? What does it create? Advanced
heavy modular frames.
Heavy modular frames, which is like, what? Why? Which also then led us to making. Oh wait, there's some concrete here, which is required as part of this process. Actually, one of my favorite bits of this is the first time that we started like hiding conveyor belts under the base. We didn't really care what the conveyor belts looked
I
like.
actually loved this bit.
Yeah. We didn't care what the
cool.
conveyor belts looked like because they were just hidden. This is like full of frames, by the way, because it like was
Oh, I didn't even know this was here.
Yeah, I put it there between episodes, I think, just because it was like stacking up, and I was like, oh, we might need those, and then we don't.
It just makes the top look so much cleaner.
Right?
It?
Yeah.
Like,
You can just hide it on the bottom. Like
Yeah.
it's such a good idea. So then that leads us over here.
So this is all just to make 2 heavy modular frames a minute.
To make 10 per minute, actually.
Is it
No.
10?
Oh, all of that.
Heavy.
Yes.
Yeah.
This whole get up here is just to make modular frames, not heavy duty modular frames, because you need modular frames to make the heavy duty ones. And they just ship back into the heavy duty modular frame thing. So this is part 1, part 2. This is a lot tidier, but again, another numbers game. We just wanted these to make them as fast as they could. Like, we fully overclocked them, so we worked back. We actually, again, in the same episode as that, we started by creating the end product, which is we wanted to create 5 per minute, fully overclocked, and then we worked our way back with maths and worked out what we needed. More use, I guess. Well, all of this iron is just dedicated to this, basically, which is mad.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I say, everything on this bit here is all dedicated to making heavy modular frames.
Yes, yeah.
So
You may be wondering,
crazy.
this must cost a lot of power, huh? And it does. We are going to go to our, just over here, power plant. Again, one of my favorite episodes of our creation was making this, to be honest. But this is like, obviously it's doubled since we've got it, since we first built it. So this is our current power get up. I mean, with the addition of the train track, we've actually added more power. But up until the last deleted episode that we did, this was all we had. And it was producing, do you remember how much it was producing? I want to say like 600, but that's not right.
How much it's producing?
Yeah, because obviously now it'll be skewed by the train. Anyway, at some point we were like, let's just double it. And that's also involved a lot of maths. When we realised that actually making power costs a lot of power as well. And it messed with our brains quite a lot, actually.
Yes.
And I learned that underclocking is important at that point, because I think one of those water things are underclocked. One each, I think, is underclocked, maybe they're not now. But at some point it was causing us a little bit of issues, so we ended up having to like underclock it, basically. This is it. This is all it's just coal power, nothing too special. But it was like the first advancement in the game up next to having to chop up plants and stuff, which was a long one, to be honest. And then
I hated that.
Yeah. And then in this same base, because we had some excess not iron, what do we have? Excess coal. We created this little foundry here that's job is to create steel, again, just for the use of the the heavy duty modular frames. This is part of the heavy duty modular frames, actually, isn't it? Wow, that's so mad. But yeah, as you can see, it's completely frozen because we are stacked on heavy duty modular frames right now, which is good. And yeah, this is apparently one of the best places in the map to get coal, I've been told. We didn't know that at the time, because we didn't know. We only recently learned that the map's the same for everyone. But yeah, this is apparently one of the best places to get coal, so we really picked a good setup. So I don't feel like, because the other power we have, that this would be the end of coal power. Maybe, I don't know. It'd be cool to see how we can change it. Maybe it's just this is just like a test area for future episodes or for future projects. Or
I don't think we had discovered overclocking at this point, had we?
No.
Because
these are overclocked
these
now.
are all overclocked.
No. When we doubled up, that it was just after we discovered overclocking that we decided to like double up these and create double the power. Or was it? I'm wondering if
did you fix our power?
No, I haven't. I left it broken. So
okay. I was going to say, because it's definitely not fixed.
No. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
I feel like maybe we actually overclocked after the fact. So I'm pretty sure we created. Yeah. So we doubled this up, and then later on, I think we came back and we overclocked everything.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we did.
But yeah, so again, there's another like
this when we built it.
Yeah, there's another like whole episode dedicated to creating obviously that, and then secondary like creating more power because we didn't realize that we didn't have enough. And then you can see like how we've like learned, I guess. I think I fixed it actually. I don't even know if I told you, Ed.
What?
I don't think I did tell you that I fixed the way it looks. It's a lot tidier on both sides now.
Oh, you know what? You did tell me, and we were going to come over at some point and look at this, and we never did.
Yeah, so I fixed it both sides, so it's just so it's a lot tidier. Again, we're learning something new every day. I've actually learned a new trick as I was looking at our power issue, but I'll show you that anyway when we get there. So yeah, this is I'd say power base A, we can call this.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's very close to being redundant now that we've got power base B, but you know, everyone has to start somewhere. Okay, yes, I remember now. So this is our like quick wire base, I guess. Where are you? You're here. And the quick wire comes from Caterium ore.
That's it, yeah. It's another product that we're not really using yet.
Yes.
We've even researched it all. You know?
No.
There's loads of research we can do with this.
Yeah, but we just got like a miner on here. And again, I don't know, is it going back to our base?
It's not, no. We needed it for something to unlock signs,
I think it was in, yeah, I think it was just in research, right?
Yeah.
And then since then, we've kind of just left it. We
Yeah.
need to actually start marking these places, I guess, on the map, because otherwise they just get forgotten. Or they got forgotten by me, at least. Not by you, I guess. But yeah, so yeah, right. At the moment, it just goes straight into here, creates quick wire, and yeah, that's a quick wire base. While we're here, we'll show you where we get coal from, I guess, for our base.
Is our first coal?
It was the first coal we found, but we didn't pick it up. We actually created the bridge to go over it, and then decided not to use it. Yeah. And then because there was no water, we wanted coal for power, and it didn't really make sense, right? Yeah. So this was the first ever. Oh,
I don't know if you want to include this, but this is what I like to call a Kieran pile of just random bits of.
We should probably upgrade the conveyor belts to like Mark IVs for all of the coal stuff that's like far away, just because.
This is not even overclocked. I think that's it, isn't it?
That's it for here. Yeah, for sure. And now we can show you the train station. So the blueprint maker is right behind me here. This is it. We thought it was going to be huge, humongous. It was big, but we thought it was going to be bigger. Haven't really utilized it. Ed's just been making these beams here that we'll be using for our train station. Another thing I forgot to mention in the tour that we won't go and look at really is our we have a quartz mine over here, which we have a tractor. This was our first use of an automated vehicle that goes to and from. But as you saw earlier, the quartz was full, so there's no point trying to go and save the tractor. We just kind of leave him there chilling. So yeah, eventually maybe all that would be done with trains. But trains are huge in comparison to tractors. So maybe, you know, there's still a use for tractors after all.
We also haven't actually used trucks at all.
No, not yet. We haven't even made one, have we?
No, not at all. Like, so I think maybe replace the tractor with trucks.
Yeah.
I think for like smaller scale stuff or stuff that's closer, I think we can truck. I think over long distances and our main network. I don't really know what to call it. Will be trains.
Yeah, fair. So this is our train station. Our first train station of 2. And this leads us to... Oh, we also have a hypertube, but we're not going to be taking that. We have a hypertube. It's pretty fun. But
yeah, we do have a hypertube, yeah.
It's over there. Let's see if we can zoom in. There you go. There it is there. As you can see, it starts down there, and then we go all the way up across, and that actually leads us to... What would you call it? Power something 2. So it's my fantasy to build this train track over... Oh, so this is what wasn't in an episode, by the way. We did it the last episode, but the recording mucked up, and all we got was my voice out of the whole thing. So you can't really tell what was happening. But yeah, it was my absolute fantasy to build this track a certain way. And that was over the abyss here. And eventually we'll have... more like support beams. It won't be floating. The planets have support beams, like I've started to do there, just to see if it even works. But yeah, this is like a dream to have it, especially like go. If you look on the map, this is a completely like uninhabitable part of the map where we shouldn't be able to build stuff. But we built a train track, boys. Yeah, it's cool. It's just, again, another dope part of this game is trains. They're a lot better than hypertubes, I think. I don't know if they're supposed to be, but they're definitely faster. As you can see to the left over there, if you look to the left of the train, you can see our hypertube just going down to the power number 2. Power B? I can't remember. Power plant B. Yeah. So, yeah, and then the train obviously stops here, where we have more coal power. I can't remember why we even created this, the coal power, because we knew we was going to create oil power in the end, but we have it. Why did we create coal power, Ed?
We made this here because we needed power for this, and
yes,
power all the way back.
Before unlocking oil power, we obviously unlocked oil, and we wanted to make, you know, computers and stuff. So we had to have a decent power plant here. And there was no point, obviously, running a cable all the way from that power plant to this one. And if we did, it wouldn't have worked anyway. Well, it would have dipped so bad that we would have had to add all of this over there. So, yeah. And then, obviously, later on, we went on to discover oil. So, just to talk you through this, I guess, a sec. So, this, obviously, is a coal power plant. The coal comes from up there. Not too much to see over there, to be honest. But, yeah, so this is where it comes to. And then this is the small power plant that it goes to. I like that we still have these biomass burners here. They're great.
Yeah, it's just in case, mate.
Our first edition of oil was this right here. This guy just comes in and it refines. It makes plastic, I think. I think it's just plastic we're making with oil at the moment. We're not making any...
Yeah, I think this is like really underutilized, isn't it?
Yeah. Right. Anyway, before we... Look at that, yeah. So that was basically its only job. We just had these 3 here, and they came out to this, and they made this whole process just to make some fuel. And actually, the fuel is now full, my dude. Damn. So as you can see, as we've filled up with fuel, I've been adding more containers at the top. But
this is how Kieran deals with storage, by the way.
How else do you do it? Tell me. I'd love to know.
We should sink it, mate. That's what we should do.
Sink it? Oh, put it in the resource sink.
Yeah.
Well, that's what eventually we'll have a lot of spare stuff. But I don't think there's ever going to be the capability to be able to sort through your storage and say, like, please just take the fuel out of it. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I've looked at stuff like online, but I've tried to not. If I don't know what someone's talking about, I try to not learn about it.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So hopefully maybe it'll be a thing in a later time. And then that brings us to the final part of this tour, and that is the power. Well, the new. What even is it? What's that? Oh shoot! Ignore that. So then next up, obviously, part of that plastic situation. I know the fuel's full, but like part of the plastic comes in, and it comes in this floor here to help create a bunch of things, along with copper and all that sort of stuff as well.
This is actually probably our most complicated build, these computers, because it uses pretty much every product we can make.
But we were still learning in a bad way, to be honest. Like, I think now...
It uses everything. It uses steel, it uses plastic, it uses copper, it uses iron.
True.
Like,
yes, that is true.
It uses, like, everything.
I think now we would still do the thing where we start at the back and work our way back, whereas we didn't do that with this as much. Do you know what I mean? Like the way we're making the frames. But anyway, so yeah, that floor there all goes to making like screws and wires, and this circuit boards is like the longest bit, I think. Yeah, the circuit boards. We should be able to make 10 per minute, but we really can't.
I slightly overclocked it last time, just like while dicking around, just because we had the headroom for it.
Yeah, and we have the spare plastic as well now, so you know that does help a little bit.
Still, we're never going to get what we need with one machine.
Yeah.
25, I think.
Yeah. And then that comes up here and it creates computers. And the only reason we have this many computers is because of AFK time, basically. It's not that this is super productive. It's not even good. It's actually very bad and unproductive. We should be
it?
making 2.5 per minute, and I don't think we're even close to it. Although we might be now, though, actually.
38%.
Oh, yeah, because we're unable to get 25 circuit boards per minute. But everything else is, like, peak great. But the circuit boards is something we have to work on, and we will in the future. But yeah, that comes in here, and we've got a ton of computers. But again, that's just down to me accidentally leaving my computer on for a couple of days. And yeah, we could have gone back on the save, but we obviously decided not to be honest. So yeah. And then that brings us to our final part of our build, our most recent part of the build, and that is
Piece de resistance.
Piece de resistance. Piece de le resistance, or just I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know. Yeah.
it's the power plant, the big oily power plant, pumping oil into the air at maximum efficiency. No, it's not. There's something broken with this, and I'm gonna actually, Ed, I'm gonna fix this in the next episode because we're gonna finish the tour first, wrap it up, and then we'll get straight into the next episode.
Absolute
But just
YouTube pro,
know that mate, when you find out the fix. Ugh. Anyway, so yeah, so this is what produces our fuel now, our like power. Sorry, and again mixed in with that coal there and the coal back home. This doesn't do it all, but it definitely could if we tried hard enough. Producing probably about 3,000 of the total 5,000 capacity that we have in our entire base comes from here alone. It's super cool. So the way it obviously works is we have the power. We'll work backwards on this one. So we have the fuel generators up here, and they are fed by these bad boys down here. These refineries. Each one of these is overclocked. No, it's not, which is crazy actually. Each of the 8 fuel generators upstairs, 6 of the 8 fuel generators upstairs are fully overclocked, and were at one point working entirely efficiently. Like, it was crazy good how good they were. Almost too good to be true, actually. To the point where each of these was underclocked, because it could be. Like, it was mad. Anyway, there is an issue with it right now. But anyway, goes from there down into the refineries. These refineries, obviously, this amalgamation of pipes and stuff, which we will be able to fix in the next episode, because I know the fix. We're going to make this look a lot tidier in here. But they're fed by 2... oil refineries. I think that's not what they're called. They're called oil extractors. They're fed by 2 overclocked oil extractors, one there and one here. These actually only need to be overclocked to 130, but I think we've upped them to 180 because we've added extra power actually. But yeah, and ultimately it's working. We're getting a lot of power, but the power machines keep breaking. But yeah, so then that's the power, and that's pretty much where we got to in our most recent episode, the one that did make it, I guess, the one that we didn't bin by accident, or lose, or whatever you want to say happened to the last episode. It's dead and gone, and I can't recover it.
No, it's probably for the best, because it was pretty much... I think we played for about 4 hours.
Yeah, and all we did was build a train track. The rest was spent like...
spaffing with this stupid fuel setup,
deleting pipes, creating pipes. Oh my god, it was long to say the least, to be honest. So I'm glad it's over, and so is this tour. I think that's it, Ed. Have we missed anything?
The hypertube. You can shut me into the hypertube.
Yeah, you know what? Let's just go in the hypertube for good measure. Come on, come for a ride with us, Ed. This is the hypertube here that goes back home. It was our only way of transport at one point, and then when we were scared of power issues, obviously we almost didn't have a way home. The building of this was good, and as of recording, I haven't actually edited that episode yet, to be honest. But yeah, so this obviously just goes back to our base, and it is extremely slow, but I guess hypertubes aren't, after discovering rail, anyway, hypertubes definitely aren't designed to go this far, really.
Like we're from like the 1800s, discovering rail.
Yes. Oh, mate. Honestly, it feels like that way. But I do wonder if there's any other like ways of transport that happens, like other than just rail. Do you know what I mean? But I'm sure we'll find out in a later episode. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the tour. One thing I want to know, if you are an active watcher, commenter, or whatever, blah blah blah, is when this game goes to, what's it called? What? build 8, I think.
Yeah, update 8.
Update 8. Do we restart everything? Because the thing is, to get where we are now, we could do this in like 10 episodes. I honestly really believe that. Maybe 15. And we're on like episode 30 now, basically. But we could honestly recreate all of this. It would be much tidier. We'd be a lot more put together. It would just be easier to explain what we're doing. It would be less like all over the place. Do you think we should restart when 8 comes out?
Viewer.
The valued viewer. And if no one comments, then I'll do what the heck I want, boy. Do what I want. Well, that pretty much... Oh, there's our Hypership Hub as well. This was going to be like a room with loads of stuff in. And then we did the quartz thing. It's just become another dumping ground in our factory. But yeah, I don't know if Ed can hear me because he's so far away right now. Oh, wait, no, we got intercom, actually. That's how we can always hear us. Like, no, what's it called when you're like... hands-free, like Bluetoothy stuff.
CV radio?
Yeah, sure. Why not? But yeah, cool. That pretty much does it. I know our base is extremely newbie. I recently have started going on like the Satisfactory Reddit, and oh my god, Ed, this is our base.
It's actually disgusting how bad our base is compared to.
We don't think it's awesome. We're not like, oh my god, this is a base tour. Look at my base tour. It's like, look at what we've done so far.
I like our base, man.
Hey, I like it, and I think it's great. But like, spend 5 minutes on Reddit, and you really quickly realise that it's
it's a mess. But it's
yeah. Oh man, that sounds like a quote you'd see on a chopping board in someone's kitchen.
It's a mess, but it's our mess.
Make a house a home. But yeah, thanks for watching. Join us in the next episode when we fix the power for good. Maybe not for good, but at least we fix the power. Or we try and fix the power. Thanks, Ed, for helping with the tour. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Love you, bye.